68. And so we've seen certainly the numbers, really go up with those kids being diagnosed. Talk about the program that you guys have and the project you're working with some 10 districts and schools around this area.
Sure. We provide training and coaching to those 10 districts across the state. We provide intensive support. So districts apply to be partner districts, and they choose the schools that we work in within those districts. And then they choose the area where they want to work, for example, social interaction or behavior. And we provide intensive training and support around that area to the teachers. We go in the classrooms, we model how to do things in the classroom, and then we step back and give the teachers feedback about how they're doing with those things.
It's a tricky area always because a lot of these kids need a little extra help, yet probably the most important thing is inclusion, because it's a social situation that they be included with the regular class.
That's right, and that's something we always strive for, moving toward inclusive practices. How can a student who maybe was in a self-contained class, who was maybe only around other students with disabilities, then go into a general education class? What supports are needed in that classroom for the student to be successful? And oftentimes with peer supports, teaching other peers how to interact with that student with maybe some accommodations and modifications, the student can be successful in the general education setting.
We have the Autism Speaks Walk at UNO, and this morning I spoke at the Autism Awareness Fest on Canal Boulevard, and I say this every year to them, it's like, there's no such thing as too much speech, no such thing as too much OT. You just flood the kids with anything you can at that point.
That's right, as much intervention as you can get as early as possible as well.
Yeah, I mean, because it's 3 and 4 year olds, and if you think there's an issue, check it out. That's always the tough for parents is, well, maybe they'll grow out of it. We don't want to know.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Right, but if you do have a concern, immediately bring it up to your pediatrician, because the earlier interventions can begin, the better the outcomes. And I know there's a hesitancy, well, we'll just wait and see, but really if a young child can get into early interventions, they'll have much better outcomes.
We know so much more about autism, environment, genetics, but 5-10 years down the road, is there ever going to be a cure, do you think? I hate to use that word.
Right, you're right. I don't know, and I was saying 10 years ago, I think we'll know more in 5 or 10 years, and we really don't know a lot more. I thought there was, a lot of money going into research, but I think the research has gone into identification and strategies and evidence-based practices that work for students. And I think that's
what you're doing.
Right.
While we wait for whatever, we've got to make school easier, and we've got to train the teachers. We've got to get everybody ready.
Right, and also look for after school. What's going to happen when the students graduate and even go to college? What supports are necessary there?
Challenges along the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Still ahead, it turned out to be a
was
great
that
day. We're enjoying the sunshine.